There is cherries over there. There is cherries, I don't know, over there. That's a beautiful cherry over here. There's cherry over there. There was a big ass cherry right here that mother destroyed. She's gonna regret that. That was a cherry that father would go to the balcony and get himself cherries. She made a lot of mistakes. This here is the biggest mistake she have made, together with the neighbors. This is also cherry right there. Small thing. And then there's a big ass cherry right here, right behind this little house. So in the back of the property, I'm sure you can see it. It's a property far away from the front entrance. In the back of it, that's a cherry right there, with the neighbor Peterlin here, Clotter over there, and Berger right there. And this cherry here, I see that when we offered them cherries to pick the cherries up, and they didn't even bother to pick up this. I'm gonna go and pick up this stuff, or it's gonna rotten. Me and Mom asked, his name is Peterlin, to come again to pick up this, and I guess that they wouldn't come to pick it up. I cleaned this cherry completely by myself, climbed all the way up there and pick up good. And you're gonna see me on a video. Got with the ladder all the way up to the roof, and also did clean up here. And what I think personally is that the fear took over. These are really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cherries. The fear took over, I think. But no, they did pick it up something. Okay, because I got really upset right now. I said to myself, man, look at that, still right there. I need to pick up this stuff so it's not going to go to waste. These are really beautiful. Look at them. Just look at this. Really, really beautiful cherries. And the neighbor told me, Janis told me, the older man told me the other day, he said to me, he said, your mom asked me to cut the branch, cut this branch so it's not going to go into this little house over there. And I told him, no, you don't have to do that. Please don't do that. And then we spoke about this stuff. I said, please, I said, whatever is on your side, come to pick it up. Then my mom told him, this branch here is for you. And they didn't come to pick it up, whatever. But they were picking up this all along. All these years they would be coming here and they would clean this cherry. And what they would do is an opportunity, they would give something to my parents and they would take for themselves. In 2008, must have been 2008, 2006 and 2008, Milan Kuchan had even Miran Sodin that would come to pick up the cherries. That they had I found here picking up cherries in this back street. Not really accessible from up front, from the visitors or the people that will walk around. Even a Google founders climbing this roof. Younger generation people. Zuckerberg, Tiger Woods climbed this roof. They were picking up cherries from here. I sent Vladimir Putin to the hell. They demanded from me to offer him to get the cherries and this and that, because this is what they would do, Illuminatis, is they would be coming here for meetings. They'll have a good time. And instead of that, I didn't want to have nothing to do with him. He got really upset with me. He got all pissed off. Then he was demonstrating his cherries in the Russia where I didn't want to be in the first place. One of the people who was climbing this tree, however, was Miran Sodin. Miran Sodin is an animal who tried to transport me from Novo Mesto police station in 2024. I don't know, it was October or November the 30, when he called. He had a police surround me inside of the lobby area, totally barbaric, and call ambulance vehicle to come to pick me up and transport me to the psychiatric hospital Ljubljana Polje, which is fucking unbelievable, for pushing complaint against genocide based on MK Ultra, police crime against me enforced throughout my life, literally already from this police station, for pushing complaint against police director, police. I was transported literally to the psychiatric hospital Ljubljana Polje, but there was actually no evidence of any kind that anything would be wrong with me. Even the guy, psychiatrist who was there, was involved in MK Ultra. So this Milan Kuchon is animal, Miran Sodin, was climbing on this tree. He wasn't climbing alone. It was this guy from Ljubljana also, TOMAŽ NAPEČNIK, who also came to climb this tree. So it's needless to mention people like Zajšek, Štefanić, in a parenthesis, the police officer Juršić that would be coming here. We have so many people coming here on this tree here, hiding themselves from the up front, because this tree is loaded with the cherries. Loaded with cherries. There still is plenty of them, I see. There is still plenty of them. So the other day, the way it all ended is based on MK Ultra, as Janis told me. He deemed that I was completely insane, incompetent, and believed that I cannot even climb on the top of that roof and do the job and stuff like this. So the reason is that I would never come and pick any kind of fruit from the fruit yard from my father and my mom, whether that be a fruit or whether that be vegetable, because the way they spoke to me like I was an animal, like I was shit. And because of that kind of stuff, you don't have to do this much to me. You won't see me anywhere. And it was my niece that was coming to steal here, freeload herself, with a sister, with all kinds of people. And they had the MK Ultra running. That's what they were doing. They were enjoying here. And he believed that I wouldn't be capable to go and get this stuff done, because during MK Ultra he fantasized with his son, even with his daughter, entire family, not only them but also Bergers and Kotar and this whole crowd here behind, with kids over there from, not kids but neighbors. I told you about the Jerman, these police officers, and across the street they had like idea about themselves, some kind of superiority idea that I could not even climb this tree and stuff like this and do the same shit they were doing. And they believed this basically because they had a full pants of shit in there, full pants of shit basically when they were climbing here. This is why they believed this, because for them it was such a big deal to do this, that they actually believe that I'm so effortless, so incompetent, so insane, that I cannot do that kind of stuff. I'm not competent enough to do this kind of stuff. That's how they presented me. And they not presented me, but during MK Ultra, they demanded from me to see myself. I will not forget when he shit-talked about if you will be awarded something when you come to the top of the tree and that kind of stuff. Now, this tree is also dangerous because there is branches that already are dead. And so creating a misstep is going to just send you down into a hospital. And so they were also trying to push that kind of luck. 2006, 2008, Miran Sodin, TOMAŽ NAPEČNIK. Is that a lot? You're talking about Milan Kushner, you're talking about the neighbors here? See, I'm not supposed to record this stuff, right? This is very sensitive because it's, you know what? I am gonna fucking collect every fucking house that you see here. None of you are you're gonna end up with a home here. Every fucking one of you is gonna get invitation to the court. You don't have to worry about what is recorded because all of you are gonna stay without single fucking home here. From Henčić to Ul to Mahar to I'm trying to recall the name, Redek. All these people here, Jozef, all these people, everybody, the whole fucking street here that you see, participated in this crime, in this thuggery, literally by using even what is used to elevate like a crane. They would come with a crane, and they would be using a fucking crane to transport me to the roof. This is how it all started with the construction. They did this shit twice. I think it was Redek who was doing this stuff. Because he built something, either was Redek or was Mahar. I don't know which one it is. They were doing a construction right there in the back. And opportunity, when they would be doing this stuff, they would do this kind of stuff. Remember when I said to you, they literally demonstrated me, when you will see the garden and you will see the house, and that's when you will be worried that something and this and that. Till then, you know, treated like I was mentally impaired. Then what they would do is they would make me climb even the tree. But first they would make me climb the roof. So you're going to say, how the fuck would they make you do that when you're drugged up? Well, easy thing. They were using a rope. They tied me to the rope from the other side of the building, this little house. They didn't know how I'm going to do this MK Ultra, talking about this shit here. The neighbors. They thought that this is just impossible to prove, that this will be a great way to do it, to prove the schizophrenia case against me. Now tell me, what the fuck is the schizophrenia here? Which part of it is a schizophrenia? So they tied me on the rope, and they would have me climb basically all the way up. And once I was up, that's where they would go, talking about the Metod Jerman right there, talking about the Jerman's police officer and others from the village. That's where they would start to talk about brainwash, basically, challenge, bully, harass, basically. They wanted the statements. So the statements are out. And I'm doing something I'm not even supposed to. Look, and I have no fucking respect whatsoever. Miran Sodin, literally, and with this shit here, see nothing, hear nothing. I end up, because of these animals, eventually inside of the psychiatric hospital in 2012. And this is what you call a neighbors, basically. Man, when I fucking get you to the court, your guys are gonna be fucking borrowing the fucking money next to the sale in these houses that you have. Gonna give you fucking misery. So I wanted to do this stuff. It's very good. This is how this cherry is hidden right there behind the tree like this. And basically this is a shit village. This is not a fucking village. It's a shit. And the neighbors, basically. This isn't to shame you. This is to fucking take away from your scum everything that you ever worked for and lived for, like you did to me. So that you will understand where you are at. This is important for me to clarify this stuff, why Napečnik and Sodin How come they came to pick up these cherries and stuff like this? What exactly happened here with this stuff? They came here at invitation of Miran Sodin because they were going to show Americans on how it's done. They're going to show me. The year was 2006. And Americans, and foremost, they're going to show my parents on how that stuff is done. Because I was not willing to do this. And so what happened is, why I wasn't willing to do this stuff. What exactly happened? Why wasn't I willing to do this stuff? I was not willing to do any of this shit because when I came back here from the US, sometimes in 2006, August, well, must have been done in 2007, and I had this parasite, Chertalich Joseph, that popped himself up here. And father was saying to me, "Come, you will get the cherries here for our friend, our family friend, Joseph Chertalich. I have not seen him for so long." So this is a Barabichik, Serbian. His son is a Boyan Chertalich that will come to freeload himself with the fish, with the cherries, whatever it would be. The two are good friends with the father. Father and Chertalich were good friends. So I said to myself, yeah, I gladly will go. And actually, the parasite, I don't even understand what happened to me. Why the fuck would I even go and bother with it? Really, that would be insane. My sister had a dog at the time. And, okay, I don't have anything against that neighbor. That's a cat. And this dog would go and this dog would shit all over the place. She was not cleaning the shit after him, after this dog. And the ticks started to spread. You know, the ticks. And so every fucking tree you would go near the fucking tree, whether that be peaches or whatever the hell would be, it was just loaded with the ticks. Loaded, my God, fucking loaded. You're walking the grass, and the ticks would be jumping on me. This is when I came from America. I couldn't fucking believe, man. This was like swarm of ticks, and it was because my sister did not clean the shit after this dog, after her dog. And before father told her to actually clean the fucking shit from the dog, it wasn't even a father who told her. I was the one. Sometimes, few years later, I started to, after she got a dog, I told her, this, during MK Ultra, I told her, this fucking place is full of ticks. And it's because of your fucking dog, because you are not cleaning the shit. In Slovenia, they still did not understood that when the dog poops, that you have to go and clean the stuff. But I had a dog in Miami, and we had to clean. Of course, you have to clean. We walk with the bags and clean after the dog. And by the time that father figured out what the fuck is going on, this place was loaded with the ticks. I mean, loaded with the ticks. The dog was gone long. Started to clean the shit after herself. Sometimes finally in 2003, which was like 3 years before I returned from the US, whatever the fuck she was doing, I told her father and her during MK Ultra right here in this grass yard, I told her, clean your fucking shit after your dog because it's loaded with the ticks. You didn't have to climb on a fucking tree. But what I'm saying is, when I did climb on the tree for that fucking asshole who came here to pick up the cherries, basically. Yeah, I was the one who went to pick up the cherries for him. And I shouldn't have done that because this was a shit bag. This is a shit. The whole family is a shit. I wrote about them, the stuff about what went on during MK Ultra and how they were stealing the money and all kinds of stuff. And I was so stupid that I went and I actually did for Uncle Joseph pick up the cherries. Man, I just went on a fucking tree. And before I would even start to pick up the fucking cherries, the ticks would rain on me. I had like several ticks before I would actually start to pick up the shit. And I said to myself, hey, I'm not even welcome. And I said to myself, I'm not even fucking welcome. I don't even pick them up for myself, these cherries. And I'm going to go pick up for this Serbian here. I said, fuck you and your cherries. And I left. I didn't even touch that anymore. And so Milan Kuchan brought Miran Sodin, and he brought TOMAŽ NAPEČNIK, the judo people from Ljubljana. They were showing themselves off, not only to me, but they were also showing themselves off to Americans, British, how they can climb the tree and they're fearless and stuff like that. And this is the tree that went on all these years. This is the main fucking tree. Everything that was happening, this tree is so full of cherries. This tree is so full of cherries. Let me demonstrate you. I did pick up the cherries. They pick up the cherries, and there is still cherries in the tree, just like you have seen. You could still go and pick up the cherries. This is like, the cherries are like enormously a lot here. This is everything you see here, cherries from that tree. Everything. Everything is cherries. Absolutely everything. This I pick up in one day, everything. There's a whole bag of the cherries on the bottom. And cherries, loaded, 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 loaded. This is all from one tree, from one cherry tree. All right, so this is the point here is something else. How much Miran Sodin was involved in this genocide against me. This individual who actually called the police, not a police, but ambulance vehicle on me to have me transported to the psychiatric hospital Ljubljana Polje in 2024. Whether that be October or September or November 30, 2024. Enormously a lot, way too much, and the environment that this was taking place was beyond criminal, beyond disgusting environment. This is how much Miran Sodin from Ministry of Interior, who came from Ljubljana to assist me, since Novo Mesto police station continued to refuse to assist me. That's basically how much he was involved in this crime against me. Literally picking up cherries in the back of the... And it was fun for them. It was very entertaining. It was extremely motivating to do this to me. Vladimir Putin said, I don't give a fuck about your cherries as long as I know that the Germans are not picking them up. And he was showing me his shit over there in Russia that I didn't even want to see it. I didn't want to have any part of it. Beyond insane, beyond disgusting, the great Slovenian psychiatric case. You want to call it a big lie? No, I wouldn't even call it a lie because it's Slovenian. It makes sense for me to call this even a lie. I mean, like in the most in a sense that when it comes to the Slovenes, it doesn't even make sense to address it as a lie, because it's about the nation, it's about the people like this. It's not even about the lie. Slovenia, Slovenes. That's what this is. They got a Tiger Woods climbing on that cherry. They started to challenge Tiger Woods on that cherry, to climb the cherry. I told Tiger Woods, I told him, I said, it depends on you. I said, man, I'm not the one forcing you up there on a fucking tree. I said, it depends on you, how you feel about this stuff. I mean, what your priorities are. He was not really into climbing on that tree, which is, I figured out it was stupid, actually. I figured out that, I said to him, I said, go, man. I said, do it. Just so you're not going to regret. I mean, it's not going to happen that you're going to return back to USA on a wheelchair or on a walking sticks. I don't know how you call that, the stuff that you support yourself, you break your legs and shit. I said, you're the one who has to make a final call. Is it worth it to climb on a fucking cherry in Slovenia or continue to make money through playing golf in the USA? I said, I don't know. That's up to you. I said, man, that's your call. I'm not getting myself into it. And he was actually grateful. He said to me, he said, yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, in this Illuminati circle, it was always about proving yourself, proving this. And they got people do stupid shit that were not even drugged up like I was. So the question this assholes here had is, how am I going to explain? How am I going to explain that during MK Ultra, I saw the fucking garden and house of this neighbor Peterlin from on the top of a tree, and also the area toward Berger's, they said, together with all quarter, they're gonna have a cameras, they will be filming me. A great deal of a paranoia they incited in. This was an Master Police investigators that were climbing this shit also. They were making us feel good, man, because the idea was to make me feel like a shit, right? Because why? Because, well, simply because they were the competent one. They were the normal one. They were the one that helped their parents. Actually, not their parents, but my parents. And I was just a complete loser, complete idiot that would not go out and help parents. You see, so they were presenting themselves not to my parents because I knew what the truth was. They just wanted to make me feel like a shit. That's what they do during MK Ultra. The purpose of MK Ultra is not to convince you. In my case, it was not, because they knew that I knew who I was, what it was all about. But what they were doing all along is they were all the time trying to make me feel like a shit. And that's exactly what my mom was using all the time. You shit, you dunk, you this, you blah, 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 blah. This is, during MK Ultra, was repeated to me by the police alone 1,000,000 times. Trust me, there is such thing like a post-traumatic stress disorder if somebody continues to repeat stuff to you, even subconsciously, that they will alter your state of mind, your perception, your well-being, your stigma, absolutely everything, how you feel about when you come out of the house, when you do this stuff. This is shit. This is not village, not a village people. It's exactly what I explained in this video. Let's do it. How much do you remember Joseph Fritzl from Austria? I do not know. But this was an individual who got himself a really, really bad reputation because of what he did to his family, to his daughters and stuff. He became known as a global sensation. Worse than a pedo, basically. The stuff that he was doing is beyond disgusting. But when it comes to Slovenia, you have the whole country like this. You have a collective human conscience, which is on the level of the Joseph Fritzl. This is what, on a level of the Joseph Fritzl and past and beyond. Worse than Joseph Fritzl. Collective human conscience, Slovenia. You say, we all know nothing. We see nothing. We hear, we know nothing. We know nothing. And they did this shit for 54 years. Slovenia. This isn't even about Miran Sodin or anything, or Milan Kuchan, and that's why I spit this out when they started with the idea that I'm going to see myself in other Slovenian politicians and start to go and do it, see things as I used to see a long time ago, things as when I was young. I never would figure out this whole Slovenia is a swinery like this. If I only wish I knew this before already, I would definitely see things very differently, do things very differently than what I did. It's just unfucking precedented how far this Slovenian imbecility, this gang, not stalking, but bullying, you know, harassment, joy, getting pleasure out of causing somebody harm through devastation, murder, literally, how far this stuff have gone. They infected, I think, the entire world with it. It's not a mental illness when you prove it. No, sorry. It's not a mental illness when you cannot prove it. It can be abused against an individual, present individual as mentally ill, when an individual cannot prove. When an individual proves his case, there is absolutely no way you can reject in absolutely any way this anymore. It's a mental illness. But it's not an individual that is mentally ill. This is a case of the mental illness. But I'm not the one who is mentally ill. So it's actually quite a beautiful view here. Really, from a different perspective, I didn't even know this thing is so high. It's beautiful. It's quite interesting. Quite a view, really. Panoramic. We're picking cherries. Plenty of it, too many.